So we're gonna make a quick call, talk about the fight this past weekend.
What fight's that?
It's
a good fight.
I guess
tonight.
it would be
Tonight's a real fight.
Well, you guys can talk about that, but
Tonight's the real fight. The Errol Spence against Danny Garcia. Then there's another one too.
Well, don't talk to me about it. call man.
What? Call him?
Yeah, give him a call. Let's put him on speaker.
Shit. What kind of phone is this?
It's an iPhone.
The new one, like?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, print you in the money.
Hello?
Hey, Van.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm alright.
I'm here with Prince.
Hey, what's going on, my man?
What's up, bro?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Good, brother.
You sound tired, man. Did you get sleep?
We got a new dog, and the dog is waking up. You know what I mean? So, but I'm good, though. What's up?
I think we're going to talk about the Tyson fight or the Jake Paul fight.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
I'm sure you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, and then when the bell rang for the first fight, for the Jake Paul fight, what was going on in your head when that bell rang?
So, I had told people, it's interesting, I had told people what was going to happen today, right? And I had told Nate what was going to happen today, you know? And when the bell rang, I saw Nate rush at him. It's interesting. Training boxing completely changes the way you look at a fight, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So when they rushed at him, I thought I was then 100% certain that he would be knocked out. Okay, he came out and on his toes, been moving his head, been moving around the ring. I was like, maybe he could survive and just lose on points. But when he was rushing at him, I was thinking to myself, okay, he's going to leave himself open for something or he's going to get gassed. Either way, he's going to sleep. Either through a stoppage or outright, he's going to get popped.
Well, he was rushing with his hands down and his chin up. Yeah, and what do you think? Like, imagine, what do you see? Since you have experience yourself in the ring, when somebody charges you with their head, like unprotected, what do you see? You see, like, it's like you see the lottery ticket. You see. You see a
free meal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Now it did take Jake a second to adjust to that because Jake, see what can happen is that's why you still got to box it out because with a situation like Jake is in that situation and just waited for Nate to come in and stuck him with the right hand. I mean, it's that simple. Anybody could do. So you know what I mean? I wonder if it was a great spectacle. Everybody was entertained, but I wonder if Nate Robinson ever had a plan to actually win the fight.
No, he didn't.
Or he was.
No way in the world. I was listening to every interview that Nate Robinson gave, which weren't that many, and there was no video of him boxing, sparring, nothing at all. So I was always really curious about that. Why did that? What's he hiding? Something's wrong. And then the day of the fight, he's interviewed and he finally says one thing about him sparring. And you know what he says? He goes, yeah, I had really tough sparring with my trainer. That's it. He said, with my trainer. So, the trainer's in there just working with him, showing him things, what to do, never going at him to try to tear his head off. And that's what you need to get ready for a fight. And so he had that's why it was like so, every time he got hit, he went down. Every time. And yeah, some of it looked like the back of the head, but it really, the guy, he put his head down. He wasn't even paying attention. It was sad, man. I thought he died. I thought he got killed when he went down.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that you go in there, especially if you're an athlete of the caliber of Nate Robinson, you go in there, and the least that you want to do is you want to acquit yourself well. You want to look like a fighter, you know. You want to look like a boxer. You want to look like you can handle yourself. And the biggest failure was that Nate didn't get to that. Nate didn't look like he had been training. Nate didn't comport himself like he had been training. Nate didn't. There was nothing about Nate Robinson that said, "I am trying to be," or "I am out there becoming a boxer." Like nothing.
Yeah.
Like there was. He didn't look like. It didn't. Like, I don't know if Nate is conventional or southpaw, whatever. He was just. He never got to a point where he looked like he belonged in there. And that's kind of the thing that, at the end of the day, shocks a lot of people because, you know, like him or hate him, Jake Paul's been seriously boxing for 3 years. And, you know, you can look at Jake Paul and his brother and think that, you know, they ain't this or they ain't that. But if you have not been putting the work in like they've been putting the work in, if you don't know what you're doing, then anybody can get that ready to get slept by either one of them. So these guys that are going to call them out now, they either had some experience in the past or be really focused right now on getting themselves together to go out there and fight.
Yeah. Well, he's calling out Conor McGregor. You know, I think he said he wants to have like 1 or 2 more fights and then fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably lose that fight, but he might be able to win. He's bigger than Conor.
No, he's much. I think he'll. I think he'll knock Conor out only because of his size. Because you know, Van, you know that he could punch, and Jake's got a really good punch. There's power behind it, and a guy like McGregor will not be able to take that. There's no way, unless he comes in there with where he's moving his head. And he's really trained, for a guy like Jake. But he has to train against big guys who can punch. He's got to get the right training, McGregor, to be ready for Jake. Because Jake's only going to be better by the time he fights McGregor.
I don't know. I think he'll be better. Conor McGregor is a world-class athlete, a world-class combat fighter. He's very composed in there. He knows how to comport himself. I think that, I think that there are some things just from combat fighting. And, he's primarily a striker. That he has, way more rounds in combat fighting than Jake Paul. It'd be interesting to see. Jake's bigger. Jake's bigger. Jake's like Conor. Jake's about 30 pounds heavier than Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that's what's going to make the difference. I'm telling you,
yeah.
What you said originally about Nate being so unorthodox. It took Jake took him a minute to adjust to it. Conor will be more conventional, like a fighter, which Nate will actually feel more comfortable, I believe. And, he's going to use his jab. He has Jake's got a really good jab. Conor's got to get through the jab, and he can run right into a right hand or a right uppercut. I think the weight's the big thing.
Conor McGregor's a southpaw. So, I don't know how much Jake's getting a lot of rounds in, but he's going to have to get used to an experienced, tactical southpaw that has great timing.
Yeah.
But one thing anybody will tell you about Conor McGregor is that the left is very heavy and he's got extremely. Timing and precision. He's a precise puncher.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen him box much, so I don't know. I don't know as much as you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, I still think it's not an easy fight. if I was going to put money on it, I have to put money on the fact that Connor's experience in combat fighting and his overall, ring time experience will mount in the end. But he could very easily lose. I mean, just clear, man.
I mean,
yeah.
If Jake hits him with his, power, I can't see Connor taking it. I just can't see it. And I guess they have to come to it with a strategy. I would say just hit him anywhere in the body. Don't headhunt. The head will be there eventually. And because they're talking Logan Paul against Mayweather. People will think that that's a joke, and the way I look at it, where I would train Logan to just punch anywhere in the body. Forget about the head. Hit him in the arms. Hit him in the body. Hit him in the shoulder. And I don't think Floyd could take that against the guys like this. They're too big and fast. I mean, I could be wrong, but if Logan caught him on the chin or in the head with a power punch, I mean, he's going down just like Nate Robinson, and that's Floyd. That's what I think. But he has to hit him with it.
The issue with that is that's a completely different animal. Now you're asking Logan Paul to fight against the guy who drew the ring, basically. I mean, like Floyd in that situation, Floyd is so unbelievably composed. Floyd is so unbelievably in control. It's really going to depend on how much athleticism Floyd still has. Because if Floyd right now has 50% of the athleticism that he had when he left, he'd easily beat Logan Paul. Because the things that Logan Paul has never seen in a boxing ring, or doesn't even really know how to do in a boxing ring, like how is Logan Paul corner Floyd Mayweather to hit him? Like Floyd's gonna do things to Logan. He's gonna show Logan things that Logan's never ever seen. He's gonna show Logan lead right hands. He's gonna show Logan all kinds of stuff like that. He's gonna do just enough to get in and get out. Now he can't do that anymore, and it turns into any sort of toe-to-toe situation, then he's dead. But if Floyd can still do any of that stuff, like, it's a joke. You know what I mean? Like, this is not enough ring time. It would be like Floyd against an amateur, But once again, if any of that stuff is really gone, we're talking about a 43-year-old guy, maybe 44 or 45 by the time it's happening.
Yeah.
If any of that stuff is gone, then yeah, sure, of course.
Well, first Logan's got to get past you. Logan's got to get past you first, Van. Because if he doesn't, then it's going to be you against Floyd. What do you think of that?
Me against Mayweather?
Yeah. I mean, if Logan doesn't get past you, then they're going to be calling you out to fight.
Once again, even the conditioning in and of itself. Look, for me, and my journey in boxing, my journey in boxing, what has to happen is, I feel like, after the craziness of this year, top of the year, as long as I make sure my family and everybody here and everybody back home is okay, I feel like, I can really, even much, much better fighter than I am right now, if me and you were in there working 4 or 5 times a week, getting good sparring in there and doing it, kind of like the Pauls are doing it.
Of course, yeah.
I have to get on here in that way. And just with the amount of time that I've come in the 2 years, the amount of distance I've come, shall I say, the 2 years that I've been training with you, I feel confident in my boxing skills, man. I can fuck with anybody that's on that level in terms of celebrity and stuff. Sitting there with a guy like that's a fucking different animal,
Well, I mean, being a trainer, and if, like you said, if we had those 5 days a week and we had time to prepare, and we'll say Floyd was the opponent, I mean, Van, you know as well as me, you know, we going in there to win the fight. I mean, anything's possible. You just got to catch him. You just got to catch him. I mean, yeah. You know, you prepare. You get the right sparring guys that are his size, fast like him, punch like him. You know, his punch might not even bother you. You know, we
right now, it's an accumulation. And plus, you know, never, like, I mean, we're talking about, I mean, you know, like, we're talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. here. Like, he's been doing this since he was 6 years old. So you also have to right there what he's accomplished in the sport. It goes for, I'm going to fight for it right now. You know, De La Hoya is talking about, he won't.
Yeah, who's De La Hoya? He wants who do you say he wants to fight?
He said he wants to fight Triple G.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that's the funeral, but whatever.
Well, what do you think? What do you think if Oscar was in his prime, a prime Oscar De La Hoya against Triple G? You think he'd have a chance?
At middleweight, maybe. Yeah, like at middleweight, I mean, maybe, but you know, Oscar wasn't his best at 160. You know what I mean? That's not where he was. That wasn't the best version of Oscar. He could still compete with guys at middleweight, but he wasn't his best at 160. But you know, it'd be good. I think a prime 160 Triple G beats a prime 160, you know, De La Hoya. But you know, that's not the best weight class that De La Hoya was at.
Well, since we're talking like this, how about a prime Triple G against a prime James Toney at middleweight?
I think James Toney wins that fight.
Yeah, absolutely, hands down.
I think James Toney a little too slick. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. Triple G crack you going to sleep.
No, not with James. Not on James. James Toney will not go down with anybody, man. James got the hardest head out there.
Yeah.
He was never dropped.
I don't think Triple G ever fought anyone in his prime like James Toney. So, you know, it'd be hard to say that he'd be able to adjust to what Toney could bring to him. But no, I'd have to say that James Toney would win that fight.
Hey, what about what's your thoughts on the Tyson Roy Jones? I know you had enough time to think about it.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. I'll put it to you like this. It was definitely fun to watch to see Mike Tyson. The last time I saw Mike Tyson walk into the ring, I remember the thing about Mike Tyson was that watching Mike Tyson train will make you believe Mike Tyson could beat anybody. Because you see other guys train, they're bopping around, hitting the speed bag, they're working the focus bit. Mike Tyson trains and gets in the gym with this pure ferocity. And it's so violent looking. That's why even if you watch those old videos when Mike was training with Kevin Rooney, and Kevin Rooney has the focus mitt and he's moving Mike around the ring and he's telling Mike to get in and get out. It still doesn't look like that specimen of human being is beatable. You know, and for a long time he wasn't. You know? For a long time he wasn't beatable. But eventually somebody cracked the code. And then a couple of people cracked the code, and then the code started getting cracked all the time. And even watching Mike Tyson train, Mike still got it, man. Like, look at Mike. He's still hitting super hard. He's still doing this. He's still doing that. But when they got in the ring, you saw, especially because he couldn't punch to the head, that, couldn't knock him out. Especially you saw that Mike, he's Mike Tyson. That's Mike Tyson, but it's not Mike Tyson with a capital N and a capital T.
Yeah, you don't think he was trying to knock him out?
No, I don't think he was. think that if he was trying to knock him out, Roy would have been knocked out. Mike still looks like some facsimile of Mike Tyson. This way he moved and all that stuff. Roy Jones Jr. looks like that looks like Roy Jones Jr. fucking never existed inside of that body.
Yeah.
Like Roy's still got a lot of ring time. He's still very crafty, and he still knows how to move and all of that stuff like that. But Roy's game was so based on his prodigious physical gifts that even when they started to diminish a little bit, you could tell that it wasn't the same guy. Now they've diminished a lot of it. So, but you know what though? It was fun to watch, and I want to see more. Like it was fun to watch. If Mike Tyson fights Holyfield, I'm here for it. Mike Tyson fights Riddick Bowe, I'm here for it. If Roberto Duran decides.
No, you know what I think the next fight should be? I think there's only 2 fights that need to be shown with Mike Tyson. You said one of them. See if you could say the second one. You said Evander Holyfield. Absolutely. What do you think the other fight is? You said Riddick Bowe, and no, I don't think that's the fight. Think for a second. What do you think would be a real big draw for Mike Tyson? Besides Holyfield.
A rematch with Lennox Lewis?
No.
You don't think so? Okay.
No. Well, okay, keep going, man. I'll tell you if you want me to just tell you.
Is it Buster Douglas again?
Yes, that's the one. That would be that. That was his first loss, and that would be like an incredible. I would like to see that fight, if anything. If I had no choice to see the fights.
If Buster can get in shape, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
You always wonder about whether or not he can get in shape. But I don't know how he's doing. You know, he had some.
Well, he said he wants to fight.
Oh, then that's the fight to be made.
Yeah, he says he wants to fight.
There will be a lot on the line for Mike Tyson in that fight.
Uh-huh.
There will be a lot on the line for Mike Tyson in that fight. That fight right there, they'd have to just go all out and do it. Could be no knockout rules or nothing.
Yeah.
There will be a lot on the line for Mike in that fight. Nah, that will work. That would be the one.
Yeah, and if Tyson knocks him out, then the Holyfield's even a bigger fight. Because, you know, it's like a new Mike Tyson. He's knocking out people who knocked him out.
Right.
That's what, yeah, that might be the best thing he does. Go after everybody that beat him in his career. All the guys that beat him, he fights them all one more time and beats them all. That would be that, and like, you know, maybe Lennox Lewis would be the last one.
Yeah, you got to wonder if Lennox is still too fresh, though.
Well, he probably is. He might be, but you never know. Tyson should get better and better as he's fighting and training. He should. But what do you think? He admitted that he smoked weed going into the ring. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think that if it works for him, I read something that said Mike smokes over 40,000 pounds of weed. No, $40,000. 40,000 pounds. He'd be dead. $40,000 worth of weed every month. And look, from the Mike Tyson that we know from the 80s and the 90s, you can't deny that marijuana seems to be having a positive influence on Mike's life. Mike seems clear. Mike seems calm. Mike seems ready.
Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks.
I think it's weed and being a vegan. You know, being a vegan and smoking weed might be the way to go.
Could be. Could be.
Are you high right now, Van?
I am not. I am not high right now. I am not. I am just running around chasing this puppy around and stuff like that. It's like not, you know, it's interesting. But
what's the puppy's name?
His name is Bozeman.
Bozeman?
Yeah.
Bozeman.
Yeah, Bozeman. You know, but
Where'd you get that name? Where'd that name come from?
So Chadwick Boseman is an actor who played Black Panther. He just passed away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I really admired him and was really broken up, about his past, his transition to go home and be with God. Even though I know God's not sad to welcome Chadwick, we still have to be sad. But so the dog has brought, if I'm being honest, a lot of, he hasn't been here that long, but a lot of peace, man. Like, everybody talks about this year and like what it cost them and what they sacrificed, this particular season that we're all in, and what I sacrificed, what this year has cost me is peace. It doesn't feel peaceful. It doesn't feel like my body's not peaceful, my spirit's not peaceful, and like I don't feel any sense of peace. Like, death is so disruptive. It's weird, when I'm in the boxing ring, even when I'm out of control, right? Because you're never really in control of the boxing ring. Boxing really is a fight for control more than anything. It's who's going to be able to control the other guy. You have to use all your tactics and all your instincts, all your training to establish the control, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in there, it's fluid. The ring itself is alive. The fight itself is like its own organism. It's alive. It's changing all the time, right? And there's a sense of letting go, and just reaction that you have, like when you're in there. And that to me is the free part of it. That's the part of it that's liberating, the part that, like, for somebody like me who overthinks everything, or for someone like me who tends to anxiety or depression, being in a situation where you don't have to think, you're thinking, but not in the way that you think everywhere else. It's like your mind is in tune with your body. And right now, with the way that we're living and the way that the information that we're getting and kind of how things are, it's very difficult for your mind to be in tune with your body, because your mind is reading all of these things about how sick people are getting, about what's closed down, about what's this and what's that. And then you're relying on your body not to react to that. You're relying on your body to still sleep normally, to still think normally, to still function normally, to still digest your food normally, when all day long your mind is being assaulted by death numbers and political turmoil and all of these other things. And it's just a matter of time for me personally, and I know for a lot of other people out there that might be struggling, to where your body stops cooperating. And then when your mind and body are on the line, then you don't have peace. Now you're not sleeping as well. Now you're having panic attacks. Now, your heart's beating crazy or whatever.
Mm.
So, sort of the time that we're in and what we're trying to do, I thought I never was melancholy about what I was getting out of life, right? I never was unhappy with what I was getting out of life, because I've always been blessed with abundance. But I never knew until this year what a good life lived looked like. Either because I was doing it just intrinsically, or because I was masking some of the fears and things that I had with so many other distractions. But now I know that a good life lived is just being able to have your spirit and your soul at peace. So, if people that are listening to this knowing that this is a boxing podcast, I know they think that it's weird that boxing can bring you that, but it can. And it does. The camaraderie that me and you have been able to have, Phil, even when I have to go away, when I'm not feeling well mentally or spiritually, with the camaraderie that we've been able to build over these last couple of years, coming in the gym, getting ready, getting inside of your body, conquering fears. All of that stuff gets peaceful, man. With banging around with the other guys in the gym, you fight somebody and then you hug them and compliment them after. It's like, it's a weird thing. It's a weird way. It's a way that I wish more people had access to. Go to yourself, you put yourself in the middle of the fire, and then after the fire, everybody around you lets you know just how okay you are. And so, I just want to tell you, while we're on the podcast, I thank you for being able to bring that to my life. You're one of the best guys I've known, and I've been thinking about that and thinking about you and kind of what it is that you do recently, even since I've been away. Trying to figure out how I find what I need to kind of get through all of this. 'Cause it's been hard, man.
Well, I think, thank you. I appreciate that, Van. And I feel the same way. Believe me, man. I know it's life. It's stuff we have to go through until we realize what's important. And it sounds like you're keeping God close to your heart. And that's, that's a real big priority. And it sounds like when you do come back to the gym, you're going to be a much better fighter now, Van. I think me and you working together now will connect even better, because we'll get right to the point of what we need to do to just step up. And I think that's key, because that's the mental part, and because you're a smart guy. If you get hit, you make a mistake. So we got to just cut those mistakes out. And just get in amazing physical shape, which is going to help you in life in every way. And you know that. You just said it. And, that dog. the dog's a blessing. You're going to see. That's why they call the man's best friend, for a reason. When you got to walk him in the middle of the night, that might be a little difficult. But in time, you're going to say you'd never change it. You would never change it for anything. Hey, Van, last thing, man. What do you think of the fight tonight? Errol Spence against Danny Garcia. What's your prediction on that?
I think Errol's got it. But the thing is, here's the thing about Spence. Garcia is a tough guy. Tough guy.
Who could punch.
And it's not like who can punch, right? And it's not like there's not a world where I see Garcia winning the fight. There is a world. But I personally think that Errol Spence is the best fighter at 147. Even better than Terrence Crawford. When he's completely engaged. Now, here's the thing. Errol's been through a lot this past year. Errol's seeing his life flash before his eyes. He was in a car accident. You gotta. This is the first time us really seeing him at this level back since all of that period. And so we have to know whether or not the Errol Spence that we've been accustomed to seeing is the Errol Spence that's going to show up in the ring tonight. And it might take a while to kind of see that. But I just think with Errol Spence, that big, that skilled, a southpaw, I think he's too big and too good for most people at 147. I think he fights his way out of 147. Depending on what Allen want to do, he goes to 154. I know they don't want to bump heads with the Charlos and all of those guys like that. But then, 146 is waiting for Lopez or some guy to come over and take it over later. But I just think right now,
because I would think that if he's not the same fighter, he wouldn't have taken this fight.
Who did he say is going to win? Who did you say is going to win?
Errol Spence.
What I say?
Who's going to win?
No, Prince wants to know who you're picking. Errol Spence, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely picking Errol Spence. Yeah, I'm definitely picking Errol Spence. I'm picking Errol. For Errol Spence to lose to anybody at 147, I'm have to see it. I think right now he's the best at that weight class, you know, and he's and if everything else about him is okay, then he'd be the best at that weight class for the foreseeable future. You know, unless the weight cut for him gets too hard to make, and we haven't heard very much about that. So, you know, as long as he can comfortably make 147, I think he's going to be the man at 147. But, you know, Danny Garcia has something to say about that tonight, and just maybe Terrence Crawford has something to say about that in the future.
I tell you, boxing is such an amazing. All right, Ivan, I want to thank you for talking, telling us everything. Any last words you want to say?
Last words. No.
I'm passing the ball to you.
Right, because I see you guys soon. I'm glad you're doing everything with the podcast, you know, and you know, everybody out there, man, keep fighting. This, you know, we're in a 12-round fight with maybe 15, with anxiety, depression, you know, all of those things from what's going on. But you know, if you guys get with God, you get with your family. Those are the trainers that you need to kind of win that fight. So I'm in it, you're in it. I know it's hard, but everybody keep fighting, man. Keep bobbing and weaving.
Amen. Beautiful, Van. I'll see you soon, okay? God bless, Van.
God bless.
Blessings, bro.
Bye. Okay.
Cool.